Hi everybody, I hope you are doing well and you had a great weekend and are blessed. I know I promised a video about isichito and how it has affected my life. Guys, before I continue, if you want to walk this journey with me, please make sure that you click on the subscribe button and the notification button so that whenever I upload a video, you will get a notification. So if you want to walk this journey with me, make sure that we walk it together, where I share my testimonies and testimonies of friends of the channel. So let's get on it. What is isichito? Isichito is a curse, like some sort of a hex on your life. So there's different types of isichito. The ones I'm going to speak about, the ones that I know. So the first one is one that would affect your appearance, so which means it's done on you. So how you look, like your face would, like sometimes you would have like a lot of pimples on your face, on your skin, like your skin would be affected, your face would have pimples, so that you don't look attractive. So people, that one I know it's normally used on they say that, like, you know, a girl whereby you're sharing the same guy would go to a shrine and would approach the sangoma, and you will have that isichito and then that curse. And then the second curse is smell. You would, like, you know, people you would not have an attractive or an appealing smell. You know, people when they're near you would just smell terrible. People would not like want to be close to you. That one, it's mostly placed by people that don't like you, and maybe you are doing well at school, you are successful, and people, they would place that one. And then another recent one that I've had on a TV show is, you know, when you're sleeping with someone else's husband. I remember I saw on a TV show that they would also, you know, this this maggots, like they would also place it on you, whereby they come out from, like, worms would come out from down there. They will, like, you know, when you sleep, I remember she was even showing on this TV show how she does it. The worms, when you sleep with someone else's husband, then you'll get worms coming out from down there. That's another one. And then another one that I know is that also it will just, another one is where they would place it on you, whereby wherever you are, people just don't like you. That one is designed to make sure that people dislike you, people hate you for no good reason. You're just not a likable person. And then another one is one whereby a person will come and put some muti in your home, maybe at the doorstep when you walk in, and it manifests in your home. Your home is, you know, you get insects, you get all types of things in your home. So which means, again, that one would also affect you in terms of, you know, your relationship with other people, maybe people at work, and like you can't even get a job, like you're struggling altogether. So those are the types of isichitos that I know of, that people can't curses that I know of that people can place on you. So now let's speak about myself, how because now, you know, you would get people that would convince you that once, in fact, it is in our nature here in Africa, that when something like that happens to you, the first thing that well, obviously somebody has gone to a shrine to place this curse on you. So the first thing is going back to a shrine to try and remove it, right? But in my case, I didn't even go to a shrine or anything like that. God himself, you know, trusting in God and in prayer, that's how it was removed. So I'm going to speak about myself when I was young. Okay, let's go back so that I can correct myself. When I was young, I think I was about 15 or 16. That's when I actually noticed that, you know what, something is off. I was not a likable, like, no matter how hard I try, I had always had to work extra hard to get, like, you know, the attention, especially at school, from teachers, you know, being favored by friends, like work extra hard, just trying to fit in, while it was very easy for others. I was not, like, you know, like, something about me was just not likable until one day we were at a shrine. I was visiting my grandmother, so we had taken one of my sisters to, we had gone with one of my older sisters to this sangoma, to her shrine, and she was going to do her own things there. And when we got there, this lady is like, oh, I see a curse on you, and with this curse, the whole point of this curse was to make sure that people, isichito on you, people don't like you, people like you like anything that you do, especially it's someone from your school that had done it, like so that anything that you do does not, it's does not amount to anything. I remember I loved netball and I was a good netball player, and I'd have to try harder than everybody else. I remember there was this other girl, when we were playing, she couldn't play as good as I am, but she was placed in the first team, in the A team. And when the A team, like with netball, it's you go on first half and on second half. So the other kids were telling the teacher, like, no, you have to place this person plays better, and the teacher refused. And they were losing the game. And when they were losing the game, I was playing a goal shooter. Then the teacher decides to put me in the second round, and then we won. So this is just the basics, but a lot of things would happen like that. Whereby I'd have to try extra hard. I remember I was with these other friends of mine, and then they came to me and they're like, we were four, I think. We don't want to be friends with you for no apparent reason, because you're not cool enough. Yeah, so I was trying so hard to fit in, and then I remember, so we went to the shrine, and this lady, remember, and then this lady just started prophesying on me that, okay, this happened, this, you know, this lady took, because this girl's mom was a sangoma, she took people's bad lucks, you know, the people that come to a shrine, and then she placed all of those things on you. And so that was the first one that was placed on me. At the time, again, remember, when you're going to a shrine to remove something that was placed in a shrine, you are pretty much taking a loan from the devil. And then time goes, and then she gives me something, you know, to use, to apply and to use. And I remember going back to school, and when I got back to school, guys, there were teachers that would dislike me. Remember, this person said, I'm going to remove this, but placed something else, because now this is another story that I would tell. This is so that I can come back and they say that, like, no, it's ancestors, this child has to go for initiation, all of that story, she's got a calling. So again, she placed her own one, and then when she placed her own one on me, at school, guys, I remember that year, things were so bad. at school to an extent that I remember I was just a performer. I remember I got an A double plus, of which I was the only one for poetry. And I remember I was just standing behind them, and then this teacher was like, oh, that one, Felicity, I don't like her. The other teacher was like, oh, we have an A double plus from Felicity. And then the other teacher, it was the maths teacher, I just don't like her. I dislike her. She's a pain in the behind. She's used a different word, but yeah, so that's what she said. And then another one was a guy that I was dating. Him and his family, they used to attend shrines. Like, yo, guys, they had their own special sangoma, let me put it that way. Whenever they need something, they consult the sangoma. So the boy's mom did not want, the boy was like, your typical boy who does not see anything beyond, outside the community. He's not looking for any success, like, your typical wake up in the morning, do this, like, same routine. So his mom wanted us to get married. So I was like a go-getter, like I wanted success. And his mom, I don't know whether it was him and his mom, placed it on me so that nothing that I do succeeds. School, nothing. Only after we broke up and I went and moved away to a different city, that's when, like, because this one they were putting it through food whenever I go there and eat. So when I stopped eating and I used to get sick, I was in and out of hospitals I had a problem with my stomach. So they placed that one on me so that I don't, like, school, everything. Academically, I was not, I'm not going to say I was like, an intelligent, but academically I was okay. And then when I started dating him, I started struggling at school, and at the same time, it was almost as if I don't see. And when I moved away into a different city, that's when everything just, again, it was like a veil was lifted, and the success, like, was coming to, and academically now I was performing again because now I was away from this guy. So guys, I know a lot of you guys would wonder but these are things that God has revealed to me. And then everything was fine in my life. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Everything was fine, work-wise, like school. I got my diploma. I did very well at school, at university, got my diploma. And after that, didn't even struggle to get a job. And even though it was not in the field that I studied in, but I did get a job. And then finally I was with my husband. I met my husband when I was in university, and finally he paid dowry, and I think it was in 2019 he paid dowry. And then we moved in together, we're dating, and then eventually we started preparing for our white wedding. And after we prepared for our white wedding, prior to that, the year of our white wedding, I'd have dreams again. Remember, now I'm in a relationship with God. As much as it was not as strong as it is now, I was like your typical lukewarm Christian that lives life as any other person. Because a lot of these things, the revelations that I got was after I became a Christian from God. So I remember I used to get these dreams weeks before our wedding, whereby, when a dream keeps repeating itself, So I'd get these dreams whereby we are walking. It's the people that are supposed to come to my wedding, but I'm looking for accommodation for them, but we're walking in poop, like, you know, when a toilet has just spilled poop. There's always poop wherever we are. At that time, I had not realized that, you know, this is a warning from God. I need to fast, I need to pray against what is coming. And guys, during the time, my mom, on her way to the wedding, got in an accident. It was a terrible accident, but the car was written off, but she was okay on her way to the wedding. And I dreamed about the accident, but I could not see who would be in the accident, and the car was supposed to hit a truck. And it was, you know, those type of dreams. And then the second one, like, I'd have those type of dreams, and after the wedding, we started getting an infestation of, remember, there were a lot of people in my house, like people that came to the wedding. There were like a lot of people in my home. So, like, you know, it was the whole wedding was like a mess, because remember, we didn't get intercessors to pray for the wedding. I prayed myself and my mom, we prayed. So everything was just a mess, guys. We were late. My husband was frustrated. He says he even wanted to leave because we kept on waiting there for so long. But then anyway, after the wedding, we started getting these black ants. Like, they were everywhere. Like, you would be sitting, they would be all over you. They would be, I've never seen so many ants. They would be everywhere in the house after the wedding. Everywhere, guys. I mean, everywhere. And then my mom and my sister and I, we went on a 3-day fasting. We prayed, and they miraculously disappeared. Guys, I'm talking about the power of God. They didn't disappear because I got, I don't know, people to come and treat the problem. No, they just disappeared. And then while we're waiting, then there is this fruit flies or drainage flies out of nowhere. They're everywhere in the house, in the kitchen, everywhere. And they're like, oh no, don't be scared of those. And now with the drainage flies, it's scary because they look like fruit flies. I don't know what is the difference, but everywhere we are, my husband and I, even with the ants, it was like that. They'll follow us in the car. My husband was in Kenya. They followed him to Kenya, those flies. Even the cousin was shocked, like, Aibo, these ants, they are everywhere. What's going on? They followed us from Nairobi to Mombasa, and now they're following us back. They were everywhere, the ants. And now the fruit flies again. I remember I was working at another company, and the drama that was there. Now, let me go back with working there. I remember again, while I was working at that company, remember after the wedding, a whole lot of drama started. While I was at work, then I get a promotion. After getting a promotion, then after getting a promotion, then drama started. There were these people that used to come and pray at the company that I used to work for. And this lady, one of them, it's a lady, and then she's like, every time you walk in, I keep on seeing a statue of Jesus. Like, you know, when he was being crucified. So me, I'm excited, like, hey, Jesus. So, and she keeps on repeating it, like when he was being crucified, not realizing that they're going to come up stories that would be cooked about me, whereby she was giving me a warning that you are about to be persecuted the same way Jesus was. She was giving lies are gonna come up, and people would know the truth, but they would still ignore the truth, which is exactly what happened. And then that's a story of on its own, that one for work, but I'm just gonna touch on it. But I used to have these dreams whereby I'd see a plane. It's struggling to go up. Remember, at that time, I didn't understand my dreams. It's struggling to go up. It will always be in the same level. Every time it would try. This was after my promotion. Tries to go up, it will stay in the same level. It will go up and then come back down. It will go up and then come back down. And then after that, I'm called into, like, you know, one pathetic meeting after another, whereby, you know, things that they're asking you, they don't even make sense. And then after that, I just left and I resigned. It's a different story, that one, for where I used to work. I'll tell the story in full detail of what was happening there. And then after that, remember the flies in the kitchen, everywhere we are, we're starting to see them. My husband will see them at work, I'll see them at home, at work. And now every time when I go for a job interview, I know once I see one in front of me, even if no matter how well the interview went, I know I'm not going to get that position. I know that, you know, that interview is an immediate fail. I remember one, I was even told that, okay, you've passed the interview, you've passed everything, we're just waiting for a start date. We never even heard from them after that. I was just waiting for a day to start, and they just went AWOL, disappeared on me. And so, which means I knew that every time when I see these things, I know nothing is going to be a success. And then eventually again we prayed, and then again fasting, and they slowly disappeared. Again, they also just disappeared. We stopped seeing them everywhere we are. I remember even telling my friend that these things, it's like they follow us. And my friend thought I was crazy. And one day we were sitting at lunch. I'm like, here it is. Remember I told you they follow us everywhere we go. These ones was usually whenever, like, they would be everywhere we go. My husband and I, they'll be there. Anyway, guys, my point here is every time we got rid of a problem, and then eventually then I went for a job interview and I passed that interview. But I think this was because the manager then was a prayerful woman. The person who was going to manage me, she was a prayerful woman. So I don't think that, you know, all of these things could get to her. So I got a job there as a performance manager at that company. But I think that was one of the reasons why all of these things could not, you know, penetrate and get to her, because eventually I learned that she's prayerful, she loves the Lord. And anyway, I kept on praying and praying. And every time, guys, God would, whenever I experienced all of these things. Before being a born-again Christian, everything was a mess. Even if, well, we were Christians, but not so strong. But prior to that, guys, everything was, my life was just, so whoever wanted to come and plant anything, they'll just do it without worrying about anything, because we did not know the Lord. But once we started knowing God, God will give me a revelation that now God would immediately, when something is coming, I know I'd see it in my dream, or I will just know, and then I will immediately start praying and fasting, and it does not manifest. So guys, at the end of the day, it all goes back to God. And most of these things, when you listen to my story properly, you would realize that God had always been giving me a warning. But because I did not know how the Holy Spirit speaks, I did not know how God speaks, I did not know that even though I was a Christian, I didn't know that I'm being warned. This is coming fast, go into prayer. I didn't know any of those things. So as long as you're a Christian and you love the Lord, He will definitely give you a warning. Guys, on Thursday, I know I promised another story, another testimony. I was listening to, I'll leave it so that you guys can go and watch the testimony, and then you come back and listen to my testimony on Thursday. I'll post the testimony on Thursday. on Life is Spiritual Ministries, where Brother Brown is giving her testimony. There's something that I'm going to speak about where she's like, they used to sleep with snakes. I'm going to speak about how here in South Africa it's normal and we hear those stories every day, and how I was also told that when I saw a snake around my father before he passed, I was told not to worry, like in a dream, because those are ancestors. So if I had known and fasted and prayed then I would have known that no such thing. So anyway, guys, and on how whenever at my father's home, they knew that whenever we see two snakes, they knew that death was coming. So it's no such thing as ancestors, guys. But I'm going to give a full-on testimony, and on testimonies that I will add on the testimonies that I've also had on how these snakes would even, it's actually somebody that I know. No, I don't know her personally, but it's a friend used to stay with a lady, whereby she slept with this snake that looked like a very popular pastor, and then she passed. So on Thursday I'll share that testimony, and I'll also add on mine. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, and God bless you. Do not forget to subscribe.